Good morning.
How big a battle do you expect with this piece of legislation? The Labour Party is putting you on notice that it intends to fight and fight hard and make significant changes. How unscathed do you think it will emerge?
Well, I think it's very important that we ensure stability in the process. What we're doing in this piece of legislation is to ensure that we are able to replicate the current rules and laws that we have emanating from the European Union into UK law. And of course, those who try to derail this bill are increasing the risk of what they would call hard Brexit, because we are going to leave the European Union. And if we are unable to put the laws in place that provide that stability, we'll still leave. We simply will not have the legal framework that we want.
That law, the repeal bill now being published to prepare for Brexit 1 year on after Theresa May and you came into your new positions. What is this, as a long-standing Eurosceptic, what does this mean to you?
Well, for the department, of course, we have been in existence for exactly a year today. We started a year ago just with myself, 3 civil servants and 1 special advisor. We're now a major Department of State. We've got over 3,200 staff based in 108 countries around the world. We're responsible for the exporting UK goods and services and that export promotion, outward and inward investment, and of course preparing the trade policy for the United Kingdom as we leave the European Union and are able to shape a trade policy of our own for the first time in 43 years.
So you've got time to make this work, Liam Fox. I'm curious, yesterday we had yet another warning from Michel Barnier. He talked about the fact that he didn't hear whistling, but he did hear the clock ticking. Do you feel that time pressure?
Well, clearly, we're under time pressure to get a negotiation done. But if we have to have some kind of bridging mechanism that allows us greater time to get it right, then of course we'll look at that. We're leaving the European Union, but we want to do so in a way that causes minimal instability, that allows market continuity, and we're going to do what we need to do to ensure that. And I think that those who still think we're not going to leave the European Union are deluding themselves. What we all need to do now is to work in a way that ensures that as we leave, that's as stable and as mutually reinforcing as possible.
How will you do that? I mean, surely you can't get Brexit negotiated and a trade deal in the remaining year and a half that you've got, so the trade deal won't be done. Are you going to have to fall back on WTO rules? Are you counting on the EU to give you a lengthy transition period? What do you do to sort of hold off the blow?
Well, first of all, this, of course, should be the easiest free trade agreement in the history of mankind. We're beginning from a position where we have 0 tariffs already, and we have 100% regulatory and legal equivalence. So the only reason why we wouldn't get a very liberal, open agreement is because politics got in the way of economics and prosperity. That would be a great pity, and that would not be because
but that would be run-of-the-mill. Mr. Fox, if politics got in the way, I mean, that would be how things go in the real world, right? I mean, can't you expect politics to get in the way?
Well, we can expect there to be politics, but if politics actually gets in the way of the prosperity of the people of Europe, that would be a great pity. Any introduction of impediments to trade and investment that don't exist today will actually make Europe as a whole less competitive. It will also have some impact on the wider global economy. And I think that as these negotiations continue, we have to understand that we're not carrying these negotiations out in a political or economic vacuum, and what we do will have implications beyond the borders of Europe. So I think that if we have in mind the well-being and the prosperity of our people and the economic well-being of the continent, then that would put us on the right track. If we start to regard it as some sort of family squabble, then we'll be on the wrong track.
The National Audit Office has talked about a horror show of manually processing imports and exports at Britain's borders. It talks about the need for an accelerated process to make sure that we have the processes in place to make sure that that doesn't happen. Would you be in any way accepting of the idea that maybe we need some sort of an extension when it comes to the customs side of the story, when it comes to the customs union? Would you be prepared to accept extended membership of the customs union if we didn't have those processes in place?
Well, I'm not going to take the negotiation on the airways, but I think that what we do need to ensure is that we get stability and that we're not introducing impediments to our own trading system that we don't need to. So, of course, we'll want to see what we can actually do in reality with the systems we have, and to ensure that, as I say, that we have as much continuity and as little instability as possible. I mean, people like myself who've campaigned for a long time to leave the European Union, I'm delighted that we're doing so. If we have to wait a few months to get full implementation as the price for keeping stability, then I would be very happy to do that.